Okay, we're going to try this again after stupid internet problems. Hopefully, this is working. And just so everybody knows, as you come into the chat, I'm just going to go into Q&A. We're just going to do Q&A. I just want to hang out with you guys and talk about this. I have to try to figure out this situation, but I'll probably just unlist this live stream. So this one's just going to be us hanging on out. So I will probably just wait a little bit until some people get on in here, and then we'll just chat with whoever comes in here, and we'll probably just go for like 20 minutes or a half hour because I cannot spend all this time trying to figure this out right now. This is absolutely absurd. So I don't know even what's going on. But yeah, I'll wait just a little bit until some people get back in here. Hopefully, this will be pushed out to people. And if not, then I don't know. We will probably just have to worry about doing this later because this is some real crazy bullcrap kind of computer stuff. So I see some people coming in here. What's up, everybody? How does it sound? How does it look? How does it sound? How does it look? I've had so much frustrating computer problems over the last couple of days. I cannot stand it. I'm about to throw this computer off of like a 6-story building. Yeah. So, okay, back online. Awesome. Okay, we're back. Cool. So, guys, I just want to get right into Q&A, but I'll basically just ramble for just a little bit about the Force, the Jedi, and stuff like that, and then we'll get into Q&A because that's literally all I want to do is just chat with you guys for the next 20 minutes to a half hour. And then I'm going to call it there. And hopefully by next week, we will have all of this stuff sorted out. So I apologize for all the confusion. Yeah, about Anakin and all that. Yeah. Okay, let me finish my thoughts. So the idea is on his planet, as a young person, the Separatist army comes through with all the battle droids and all that stuff, and they basically like slaughter his family. Right. And so we think at that point, then what would happen is the Jedi would come and rescue him. And so at the very least, I think he would see the Jedi. I don't know how much he would see of the Force itself, because I think according to the other flashback, he's put in some kind of a closet or something. Right. He's sort of put away. And then we assume that's where his family goes out there and maybe gets blasted up and then the Jedi come out there. But it would be literally as simple as them opening that up, the kids there, it's the Jedi that we know, which I believe could be Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan and Anakin. And then I think what might happen is because Obi-Wan has so many connections to Mandalore that he will take this foundling or take this young dude, the Mandalore himself, to Mandalore or to some tribe of Mandalore where then he will become a foundling. And so a lot of the talk, if you watch any of the sort of behind-the-scenes stuff or the interviews that the actors and the directors have been talking about, it has a lot to do this idea that they're building something very big for the Star Wars universe. There's like a new lore. Werner Herzog is talking about how there's this new mythos, this Greek thing that's happening. And I really do believe it has something to do with the Force and what is happening to Force-sensitive people at this time in the galaxy. Whatever's happening at this time, probably not very good for Force-sensitive people. And so, we know that the Empire and all them want this little baby Yoda. It's clear that this little baby Yoda is very strong with the Force. Like, as a baby, he's able to just lift that thing. Like, I saw, Flick Talk put in the chat, and it was pretty funny. It was like, Baby Yoda is a Mary Sue. And, there's an argument to be made there. That's crazy. As a baby, he's lifting this freaking crazy thing. And so that is kind of where my thought is at. And I think it would be really interesting if he has any knowledge of the Jedi from his past, what his perception of that will be, because it's interesting having him possibly connected to Obi-Wan and Anakin, but also the Mandalorians themselves have a lot of drama with the Jedi. And so that is something I think they're trying to kind of set up as well. We've had a lot of Star Wars stuff explain how badass Jedi are. We all pretty much know how badass Jedi are. Then now we are being introduced to the Mandalorians and how badass the Mandalorians are. But that's kind of my thoughts there. But guys, let's go for like 20 minutes. I just want to do Q&A, and I'm literally just I'm going to unlist this stream, actually. So this is just us, man. This is just you and me, guys. So let's get into some questions, man. Drop some questions in the chat. We'll go over it all. Let's see here. Could Werner Herzog be an Inquisitor? I do not believe so. At this point, the Inquisitors are all gone. The Inquisitors, I believe, according to Dave Filoni, are actually all gone before A New Hope. And if I'm not mistaken, there's something to do with Jedi Fallen Order that I think is going to clear out a few of them, if you know what I'm saying. Jedi Fallen Order is really freaking cool. I'm probably going to play a bunch of that tonight until I pass out. But yeah, so no, he probably cannot be that because I do not think that they are alive. ABQ Freedom says, but I wanted more. Dude, I wanted more so bad. I wanted more so bad to the point where, like, I'm borderline upset. You know what I mean? Like, I'm borderline upset. It's kind of a good thing because it means that it's so good that we like it enough to be like, come on, where's more of it and all that, right? But still, let's see here. Robert Sinclair says, do you think the Mando will drop the asset off at some sort of giant lab with other creatures and unfound children, get his credits, rebuild his armor, then hear about what's going on and return to rescue Baby Yoda? So I do think something like that is going to happen. I don't know if it's exactly going to be what you just described, but I do believe that he's going to turn the baby over. He's going to get his huge thing of Beskar. And this is basically because we've seen a couple shots in the trailers. Number one, where he has the whole Beskar armor, but also we see the shot where he comes out and he's blasting the stormtroopers. Well, where do we think those stormtroopers, where have we seen stormtroopers so far? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to get his Beskar, build up a whole new armor set for himself, and then he's going to get that. He's going to get that Baby Yoda because he's not. Those are not the only Imperials. Remember, Giancarlo Esposito is in this show as an Imperial something or other. So him being maybe connected to the Werner Herzog. Yeah. Let's see here. Mr. Frosty says, what did I miss about the link to Obi-Wan and Anakin you just mentioned? So here, I'll go over this again just because I do think this is something that people are maybe confused about. And maybe I didn't explain this the best way yesterday. So there are shots in the first episode where he's down in the Mandalorian underground thing with that foundry and getting his armor made. And he says, I was once a foundling. And then there's a flashback. And in this flashback, we believe that that is during the prequels because there's battle droids. We think it's during the prequels. And so basically what we think happened is that he was born during the Clone Wars. And his family gets wiped out by the Separatist army, which is the battle droids army, okay? And so the battle droid army and the Separatists come in and wipe out his family. Well, what do we know was going on during that time period? Obi-Wan and Anakin were fighting against the battle droid armies. That's what the Clone Wars was. It was the Separatists versus the Republic. The Republic had the clone troopers. The Separatists had the droid armies. Okay? So what we think and what's rumored is that Obi-Wan Kenobi is the person that saves the young Mandalorian in the past during the flashback. Does that make sense to everybody? Because I know I didn't do the best job of explaining, but hopefully that explains it. Let's see here. Christian Debicki? I don't think the Baby Yoda is a Sue of some sort. Aren't the Yoda species strong in the Force? So we actually know very little about the Yoda species, but it would appear from everything we've known that, yeah, they are pretty strong with the Force. I've kind of been talking about this a little bit as well, but yeah, I think that they're very strong in the Force, and I think that that might be something that gets explored. We do know for sure that George Lucas was talking to them about the lore for the Yoda species, so that when Jon Favreau had this idea, they then went to George to figure out the lore of the little baby Yoda species. So pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool stuff, and yeah, I do think we're gonna get more of that explained. Let's see here. Jonathan Nesbitt says, "I saw an interview today with Pedro Pascal where he drops the name of the character. Can't remember it though. Yeah, we know. Somebody tweeted that to us, so yeah, we're pretty sure that that is the name. However, it's possible because if you watch that interview, he trails off because he knows he shouldn't have said it. He could have trailed off and not mentioned the last name, right? His house, right? Like, is it Vizsla? Is it Fett? Is it Ren? Could be any of those. You know what I mean? So let's just wait and see. But I think that he might have not given us all the goods, even though we do know the name of the dude. What if Yoda saved him? That's why he is protective of the baby. Definitely possible. Definitely possible. Look, that's what's so cool about it. The possibilities are so wide open. Now, the reason I think it's going to be Obi-Wan, and besides the fact that it's actually rumored that it's going to be Obi-Wan, is because they know they're doing the Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So, like, Ewan is literally doing that series. Do you know what I mean? So why not have him as a young Obi-Wan in Mando as a nice little tease for people that want to go check out the Obi-Wan show? Makes sense to me, right? It's like a no-brainer almost. Yoda and Yaddle had a child. Hey, it's possible. That could be Yoda and Yaddle's child. I wouldn't be upset about that. That could be real cool. Yoda and Empire. No, there is another. My son. But we got to wait 500 years for him to save us. Yeah, maybe. Who knows, man? By the way, I would love... I don't know if this little baby Yoda makes it out. I don't know if this little baby Yoda makes it out of here or what the deal is going to be with that, but I would love for future Yoda species people to be in future Star Wars stuff. And I think that either way, after Episode 9, Star Wars is going to have to do some new stuff, and I think that that's the way you should go, man. Throw some aliens in there, you know what I mean? Like, do it. By the way, so cool because a lot of directors and writers in the Star Wars universe have constantly said that, like, you can't have an alien as the main character. Like, it's just unrelatable to people. It wouldn't work and all these different things. This baby Yoda is winning a lot of people over. And the thing that's really cool about that is that probably will signal to other creators that, hey, these can be totally empathetic characters. This can be something that people get behind, and we could see a little bit more of that. Let's see here. Robert Sinclair says... Yoda's homeland is probably like Ahch-To in the Outer Rim, basically hidden unless you're a native or have a secret. Yeah. So that's actually something that's interesting. It's in the very beginning of Jedi Fallen Order. You do go to a planet that the Empire apparently knows nothing about that was home to a Jedi temple. And so there's probably plenty of planets out there that the Empire didn't know about. And we believe that Luke Skywalker was, well, we don't believe, we know that Luke Skywalker was going around and sort of Indiana Jonesing it after Return of the Jedi. That's what he was doing. He was going around trying to find these planets and these temples, gathering knowledge about the Force, trying to discover the true nature of the Force. Pretty cool stuff, man. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe, but Baby Yoda is still way too late to stop Annie. Yeah, he's definitely way too late to stop Anakin. How much of Maul are we going to see when the show goes to Mandalore? So at this point, Maul is dead. So we will not see any Maul. Now, we could potentially see Maul in a flashback, but that's more likely in the Obi-Wan show. I think you could get some Maul in the Obi-Wan show and stuff like that because there was rumors that they were going to take some of the assets that they had with Solo, because there was originally, we're thinking a Solo trilogy planned, but now that stuff might sort of tie into the Obi-Wan show. And so more likely to see Maul then, but Maul is dead before A New Hope. He's killed on Tatooine by Obi-Wan, actually. And a lot of people are wondering, like, hey, are we going to see a remake of that in live action? Maybe. That could be really cool. Let's see here. What do you think Yoda / the Crib have on them, allowing for the continued tracking, and why wouldn't Mando try disabling it? I don't really know. I gotta be honest. I'm not sure. I know that you see that those Trandoshans were hired by the Guild as well, That was important, and I think we're gonna learn more about that. But as far as like why he's not disabling it or whatever, I don't really know. I don't really know how all that works. Um, you could potentially be a thing where he doesn't want to disable it because how can he then cash in his bounty? You know what I mean? Like we don't really know how those trackers work, but if that's what's going on, then maybe he doesn't want to disable it for that reason. Let's see here. I think Mando will double cross. He'll get his Beskar and then shoot up the Empire troops, taking Baby Yoda back to QL. That's why Giancarlo's character gets involved. Yeah, I think I think a lot of people are on that same page, man. I think that's pretty much what we expect to happen. He'll get the Beskar because we've seen him in full Beskar gear, and then he will probably go get the Baby Yoda. I mean, at this point, like he almost like owes a life debt to the little Baby Yoda. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Let's see here. Paige says, Mr. Frosty, I think the fob has something to do with the DNA. The tracker is not on the crib, I bet. Yeah, it could be. Could be on the DNA. Not really sure. Would Luke even have a Jedi temple at this point? No, Luke would not have a Jedi temple at this point. According to canon, after Return of the Jedi, Luke he doesn't even want to bring the Jedi back. Ultimately, the big thing that makes him bring the Jedi back is actually Ben. So Ben Solo and that whole thing, according to the canon in the novels, and you got to really wonder at this point, how much of this are they staying true to? Because this overall plan that Disney had with their canon, like it's just a mess. It's just a mess, and I'm just not sure how much of it they even care about. But according to the canon that I know, Luke did not want to start the Jedi Academy, and he doesn't start it until late, and he starts it because of Ben. So, no, I don't believe there would be a Luke Jedi Academy at this point in canon. Let us see here. It's a big universe out there. There's more unknown than is known. While I like the Easter eggs and tie-ins, I love that it's almost all new lore. Yeah, and I think, honestly, ABQ, that they're doing something really special with this show, and I think they are trying to set up a new mythology and some really interesting stuff with it, and I think it's really resonating with people, man. I think people really like this show, and I really like this show, and I'm really excited. Again, though, what is the deal with these half-hour episodes? Like, you're killing me with these. I wanted 8 hours of Star Wars content. Am I getting 4 hours of Star Wars content? That is a raw deal, man. That doesn't feel good to me. Let's see here. We got a super chat coming in from Flick Talk. Thank you so much for the support, brother. Do we know what the Empire was using Beskar for? Did we ever see them using it in canon? Definitely not on their armor. No, their armor is plastoid, I believe. And as far as I know, my thing here is the Beskar is sort of sacred to the Mandalorians, and I think what happened was, so Mandalore is under Imperial control for most of the reign of the Empire, and then it's liberated in Rebels. So in Rebels, they liberate the Mandalore from the Empire, but we don't know what happens after that. Does the Empire just come back and crush them? Does the Empire come back, crush them, and steal all of their Beskar as sort of a way to kind of neuter them? You know what I mean? Is that what the Purge was? Was the Beskar taken by the Jedi? Because remember, there were Jedi-Mandalorian wars, but that Beskar is stamped with the Imperial signet. So either it was taken by the Empire or it was taken by the Jedi and then taken from the Jedi by the Emperor. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully we get more of that explained. But yeah, as for now, that's pretty much all we know. Have you got anything to do with the Grey Council YouTube channel, or will the Grey Council podcast happen on this channel? The Grey Council is a YouTube channel set up by a couple of members of the Grey Order, and I'm going to be on that show probably as many Sundays as I can, probably not every Sunday, but they're going to be doing sort of a podcast over there. And I'm going to be helping them out, not only like getting the podcast launched, but I will be on there. And yeah, I mean, the whole thing with the Great Order is at this point, what we're trying to do is build a network of creators and all sort of help each other out, network together and get the voices and sort of build our community up rather than go into these other communities and do anything particularly like that. It's more about sort of building up that community. And so that's what we're doing with the Grey Council. But yeah, Urson and GA are really good dudes. We've been talking a lot, and I'm actually going to have a meeting with them tomorrow about it as well. But that is that's what's going on with that. Did you see the cameraman's reflection from the Mando's helmet in the first episode? No, I did not. When does it happen? Darth Bane, let me know. Let me know. I hope we get more flashbacks from the Mando when he was a kid. Maybe see Ahsoka, Annie, or Obi-Wan fighting the Separatists, and then they save the foundling and take him to Mandalore. That's exactly what I've been talking about. That's exactly what I've been talking about. Six strings to rule them all says I am confusion. What are you confused about? Let me know. I'm by far a Star Wars guru, but this show is luring me into the fandom. The Mandalorian is the truth. I have spoken. Yeah, and I'm super happy to hear that, Jaron. I think the show, like, there was some people out there saying that they didn't think the show was grabbing casuals, like that it was more for the hardcore people. I don't know about that. I feel like it does a pretty good job of grabbing casuals. And I think it's really going to open up too. We've been really isolated with The Mandalorian, and yet we've already had some really interesting stuff teased, but we've been pretty isolated. I think the show's going to open up. Biggie Stan says, what happened to the black lightsaber? So the last time we see the dark saber, it is on Mandalore, and is it Bo-Katan? I forget who it is. Somebody has it, and they're sort of the ruler of Mandalore at that point. It is a female, and I can't remember who or what her name is. But that's the last we see of the Darksaber. But yeah, hopefully we get more of that in The Mandalorian. Maybe a season 2 thing, maybe not a season 1 thing. But whoa, man, the Darksaber is awesome. So yeah, I would really like to see that. Let's see here. By the way, I'm from the Den of Movies channel and Instapage. Love the channel. Can't wait for the Great Order to take the fan base by storm. Mean a lot if you check out our channel. I have checked out your channel, actually. And honestly, I've just been trying to get in contact with a lot of different people, and I'd love to talk to you about your channel and try to help you out a little bit and do some collaborations. Just signing in, John has salvaged Star Wars from the death grip of Ryan. Could not be happy enough with the first 2 episodes. Feels like Star Wars I saw in 77 when I was 5. Well, Alan, I'm glad you like it, brother. I am glad that you like it. Look, I like The Last Jedi, but I completely acknowledge what it did to the fan base, and I completely acknowledge that it's a divisive film. Like, there's a lot of people out there that are like, it's a small minority of people that didn't like the film. I'm like, that's not true. But it's also not true to say that the majority of people don't like it. The reason we're in the situation we are in is because it's pretty split. That's what divisive means. There's a lot of people that really like it, a lot of people that really don't. But either way, bro, I'm glad that you like The Mandalorian. And honestly, there should be stuff for all the different kinds of Star Wars fans. You know what I mean? Like, if sequel trilogy is one flavor, that's cool. Why not have the other flavors for other fans? That's kind of always been my thing. It's like, where's the other flavors? And I think Mandalorian is a great start to having those other flavors. Let's see here. Was that Boba Fett in the Mando base in the background? I don't think so. I saw a lot of people talking about it. He certainly looks like Boba Fett. He's got some of the same colors. He could even be from the tribe Fett. Hey, if it is Boba Fett, that's dope. I'm all for that. Guys, I'm a huge Boba Fett fan. I like me some Boba. You know what I mean? So if it's Boba Fett, that's sick. He looks a little bulkier than Boba Fett, though, but maybe he got new armor after he got out of the Sarlacc pit. Who knows? But I don't think so. I don't think that's Boba, but I would not mind it if it was Boba. Let's see here. I just hope The Mandalorian keeps this level of quality and Obi-Wan follows. I remember Game of Thrones also started well, and then, yeah, I hear you. I really want the show to be longer. I mean, am I going to sound like a broken record? But I really just want the show to be longer. I hope we get some longer episodes. And I haven't seen anybody in the chat help me out with this. Has there been any confirmation about the length of episodes? Does anybody know about that? Because I need them to be a bit longer, to be honest with you. Yeah, check out the Grey Order Discord, guys. If you're interested in the Grey Order, get on that Discord. We have a lot of cool conversations. I try to get on there as much as I can to chat with everybody as well. Is Mando going to lift Episode 9, or is it going to set the bar too high? I don't think Mando has any effect on Episode 9. I've thought a lot about this. And this might be something we get into on the Grey Council on Sunday. But I don't think it has on episode 9. I think like the people that are not going to see episode 9, they're not going to go see episode 9 now because of Mando. You know what I mean? And the people that were always going to see episode 9, they're not going to see episode 9 more because of Mando. I will say that I think this was a great week for Star Wars as a brand because you had 2 Mandalorian episodes and they were amazing. And then you have Jedi Fallen Order, and this game is rock solid, dude. This is a very good Star Wars game, potentially the best Star Wars game of all time. So this was a great week for the Star Wars brand, but it doesn't do anything for episode 9. I have told you guys, and I know it's not the thing everybody wants me to say, but it's the truth. It's how I feel. I'm very worried about episode 9. Not for my personal enjoyment. I think I will enjoy it, but I'm worried about how the fan base will react to Star Wars episode 9. And I think that, honestly, it's kind of weird to say, but I feel like a lot of people at Disney and the fans all just want to get past episode 9. We just want to get past episode 9 and then look at the new stuff and sort of set a new status quo, because honestly, like, my objective opinion on it is like, it just really doesn't even matter. Like, they just need they need freshness. They need to. I personally think they need to clean house in a lot of different ways, put new people in charge, and move forward. Because as much as I like a lot of the stuff that's going on in the sequel trilogy, you can't objectively look at what the fan base is saying and be like, no, we're cool. You know what I mean? Like, no. They need new. They need new, and we need a new direction, a new hope, something to get excited about. Mando is great. I think Obi-Wan will be great too, but I think Star Wars needs to live on the silver screen. I think Star Wars needs to be on the big screen. And I think that moving past episode 9 will be the time for that. You know, I said this on Collider, on Rule of 2, but I really do believe this. Maybe we were always going to end up here. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe the greatest trilogy of all time, the thing that made Star Wars what it is, maybe any story that was going to follow that it wasn't going to nail it. Like, it didn't matter. It was just always going to be divisive. It wasn't going to be necessarily what people wanted. And we could go down that rabbit hole for a long time, but that's my belief, is like, maybe we were always going to end up here. Either way, it doesn't matter. We're here. So we just need to move forward. That's kind of my thing. Would be cool if we see Rio from Solo as John played him. Yeah, John did play him. You know what else? I just figured this out. John actually voices one of the Vizslas, one of the Mandalorian bad guys in the Clone Wars. And I forget who it was. Do you guys know? Chat, can you let me know? Yeah, I don't remember, but he literally, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are like friends. You know what I mean? Jon Favreau has voiced multiple characters. Ooh, pardon me, in Clone Wars and Rebels, and one of them was a Mandalorian bad guy. And so Favreau and Filoni have probably talked Mando stuff before, even pre-Vizsla. Thank you. Yeah, he was pre-Vizsla. Man, he was great doing that voice. That was cool. I really hope Dark Rey is real only for the sole purpose of letting Kylo and Rey fight something together. Emperor doesn't use a saber, so it can't be him they are fighting. Flick Talk, I would love for Dark Rey to be real. Every part of me, every single part of me is like, no way. No way. Like, it's just no way. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing about it. And I don't want to turn this into an episode 9 conversation, but that is the thing about episode 9. Episode 9. The volume's low? What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Oh, it looks like it is a little bit low. My voice, I'm also losing my voice a bit. I don't want to make this into a discussion about that, but that's kind of the problem with episode 9. There's only so many things that even can happen to that character. You know what I mean? But yeah. Force Awakens director's commentary. JJ says Kathleen Kennedy's first choice for Kylo Ren was Adam Driver. Not a bad move, especially for those who say the only good part of the sequel trilogy is Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is without a doubt the most interesting character in the sequel trilogy. He's had the most to do. And I think in a lot of ways because they weren't concerned with the like imaging, you know what I mean? Like you could make an argument that some of the things that happened with Ray were optics decisions, and those optics decisions just played out in a bad way. And because they didn't have any of that concern with Adam Driver, his character shines. Like we almost feel more for him than we do for Ray because he's been through stuff. He has an interesting arc. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree. Let's see here. Oh, Brian Miller. What's up, Brian? Brian, I think you should literally go by Star Wars Santa Claus. And we're going to talk about branding very soon, my friend. But did you see the Collider article about the Fandango Millennials survey for most anticipated movies during the holidays? Rise of Skywalker was the #1 most anticipated movie among millennials. That's interesting. That is really interesting. Brian, we will see. Brian, we will see. That's another thing too. I haven't really talked about episode 9 since like I have a video about the ending right now that's like blowing up right now. It might even hit 1 million views. And I don't even feel great about that video. But I saw some people on Twitter saying like, oh, all the leakers and all the people that have this inside info, they haven't really said much since the trailer, and that's odd. And for me personally, it's because talking about episode 9 is exhausting. I have said almost everything I want to say about the film. I'm like 1,000% sure that I'm correct with that stuff, and everything else that's coming out about it is fake news. So there's not much more to say. Like, we really just need to get to episode 9, and either way, I'm excited to get past episode 9 and talk about it. Talk about the sequel trilogy as a trilogy. We can then give it its proper due. We can talk about the films. We can criticize the bad things. We can uplift the good things, and we can just know about it. You know what I mean? So once the trilogy is complete, it's going to be dope. We'll talk about it. We'll figure out what is going on. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. Space Horses just proves they've not learned from episode 8. I don't know about that, Alan, because here's the thing. Star Wars can make goofy stuff like that work. The end of Rebels, and this is kind of a spoiler, but the end of Rebels has space whales. And these space whales do something kind of ridiculous and sort of help save the day. But it works. Like, it works. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not always you can sort of pick things out of context and say like, oh, that's silly, that's ridiculous, or whatever. We don't know anything about these space horses. Like, we really don't. You know what I mean? So we just got to wait and see on that. I know it's a very funny meme. May the horse be with you. I think that's hilarious. But we just don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. Dagobah had regular snakes. Did people have a problem with that? No, they did not. Have I read Resistance Reborn? No, I have not. People keep saying it will be hard to relate to the Mandalorian because of his helmet, but I keep thinking about how many famous Star Wars characters have always had the helmet on. Yeah, Shuffler, but this is what I always say to that. How many of those famous Star Wars characters were the lead of a television show? Answer, none. You know what I mean? How many of them were the lead of a movie? Answer, none. How many of them were a lead? None. You know what I mean? So I actually am a little concerned with that. Not super concerned. Darth Vader's not a lead. He's the antagonist. He is not the protagonist. Anakin Skywalker was a protagonist. He didn't wear a mask. You know what I mean? So it's just different. Like it's not like that's the thing is, guys, that's not even like that's not a wild thing to say. That's basic filmmaking, basic storytelling. You know what I mean? Vader didn't take the mask off until the end of Return of the Jedi, and it was a powder white, scared old man. Yeah. Again, not a protagonist. You know what I mean? We don't need to feel an attachment to Vader. We kind of do. In the last film a little bit, but we don't need an emotional attachment to Vader. We just need to be afraid of Vader on the base level. On the base level, that is the function of Vader. He is just to be terrifying. But anyways, guys, I'm only going to go for 5 more minutes. I do apologize about the wackiness with this stream. I'm hopefully going to get that all figured out, and we can get back to normal very soon. But yeah, we'll go for a little bit more here. Brian Miller with the super chat. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. Disney Plus, Mandalorian. What TCW? The Clone Wars? Oh, and McClunky. Yeah, McClunky was hilarious. And the Clone Wars Season 7, I'm looking forward to that a lot as well. Definitely looking forward to that. Could Sabine Wren be in the show? Maybe in The Search for Ezra Bridger. I always found her interesting in Rebels. She's a great character, man. I was actually just explaining this to a buddy of mine, and I want to know how you feel about this in the chat. I think Rebels is a way better complete show than Clone Wars. Clone Wars is arguably better for Star Wars lore and as just Star Wars candy. But the beginning's really shaky. Things even go out of order. Ahsoka's kind of whack, and then she gets much better. I feel like Rebels is like Firefly, but in the Star Wars universe with sweet Jedi. I feel like it's a very tight show. It's really good as a singular show. So yeah, I definitely like that, and Sabine is a great part of that. I would love to have Sabine in Mando. Darth Maul movie. Your thoughts? Nah. Now, I'm not. What's his Zabrik? What is the species there? He's from the Night Sister planet, right? Zabrak, I believe. That species is cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of them. That would be really cool, but no. As far as the Darth Maul movie, no. Star Wars needs to look. I think Mando and some of these other shows are really all tying together. But as far as the episodic movies, we need to either go way back or way forward. We need to leave this era. We need to get away from all of that, because frankly, it's just when you play that game, you just run the risk of it not landing for established fans. And I think that's some of the problems that we are running into right now. Do you think Favreau will bring us to the wreckage of the Death Star? I mean, that would be really cool. That would be really cool. I don't know about it, but that would be really cool. Nick Meadows says, I agree that you should take all the films as a whole, look at the films and not judge just individually, but as a trilogy. I know people hate on The Last Jedi, but I think 9 will help make that movie better, I think is what you meant. And that would be the hope. Honestly, that is what people hoped. I remember before The Last Jedi came out, we were talking about that, how if The Last Jedi did its job, it would actually make The Force Awakens a better movie. Now, some would say it did in the wrong ways, but that would be something really great, right? If Episode 9 somehow made us look at The Last Jedi a little bit differently, that would be really cool. I don't think it's going to happen for many people, but yeah. You didn't have all the other movies back then, Josh. Was just the original trilogy. No prequels. Vader was huge. I mean, I guess that's a fair point. I guess that's fair. Fallen Order streams. Darth Maul, I would love nothing more to jump back on Fallen Order and do a stream with you guys, but I even had problems with this stream. The technical difficulties that I'm running into right now are driving me insane. Yesterday was like a Lemony Snicket novel. So many stupid things happened. I was getting so frustrated. That's why I just called it. Like, when our stream crashed for like the third time last night, I was like, fuck it, I'm done. I don't even want to do it anymore. I just literally flipped on Pokemon and let Justin do the Pokemon stream on the gaming channel. I would love to do it, man, but I spent all this money. I'd get all this stuff, and then these little bullcrap things happen, and it all goes wrong. Now, having said that, I'm hoping tomorrow to work on it, and if I get it fixed, maybe stream tomorrow night. But I don't know, man. Well, now, Red Kite, now that you've got Disney Plus, you have access to all that stuff, and it is good stuff, man. I tell you, it's real good stuff. I'm just going to take a couple more questions, and then I'm going to get out of here. Fresh Avocado says, Rebels is a kiddie show. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, except you, Fresh Avocado. Your opinion sucks, and you're wrong. Yo, JK, bro, relax. Just kidding. Hail, Josh. Sorry I'm late. Was watching the other part, then realized it was cut off. Love this show so far. I'm glad you like the show, man. I'm glad you like it. And, yeah, that other stream, it got cut off. I'm actually going to delete this one when we get out of here. This is just for us, guys. Like one of those feel cute, might delete later situations. I'm going to delete this because the other stream at least has my full review on it. I'm just going to leave it up. I'm just going to leave it up as a video and then take this one down. Again, technical difficulties. You know, for someone that sort of, you know, makes a living off all this technology and all this stuff, like, I hate it. I hate it so badly. So badly. I'm a pretty chill dude. I keep it pretty chill. You know what I mean, guys? I'm pretty sure. But technology, when a computer, when a piece of electronics that's its designed function is to do a thing that I need it to do, and it doesn't do the thing that I need it to do, whoa, that's when I get pissed. That's when I get pissed. And I was pretty pissed yesterday about all that bullshit. But yeah. See here, I haven't seen Clone Wars or Rebels. I want to, but I don't know. I want to so bad. Let's see here. I want to so bad, but every time I think about it, I get turned off. Paige, susplain. Why do you get turned off? I don't understand. Do you just not like cartoons? Because that's cool. Some people don't. In Fallen Order, the double-sided lightsaber will be on Dathomir. Well, thanks for that tip. I will definitely check that out. Really love the long-form TV streaming format. Darth Plagueis, Thrawn, etc. Great direction for this type of content. So many opportunities, Alan says. Alan, I am with you. I would love to get some Plagueis stuff, to be honest with you. You are jinxing it with your words. Maybe. Cartoons. Paige doesn't like cartoons. That's cool. I get it. I absolutely understand. I went to school for film, and I took like a lot of classes on animation, and I just kind of appreciated a lot as an art form. And I think, too, just for me personally, like, there's things about animation like that are even better than film in some ways in live action. Because so film and live action normally really relies heavily upon the actor or the actress. It really is the actor's medium, and the things that the actor conveys really ultimately should and does change the way you edit. Because if you really pull something great out of somebody and it connects on this other level, that's what you do. But in animation, it is all created. You don't have those. So every single thing that happens is written. It's almost like a Tarantino movie. It's like everything that is on the screen came from some dude's pen and some dude's mind, or some ladies. You know what I mean? So in some ways, I almost like animation more as an art form, because it has to be so succinct. And you look at some of the, even some of the best Pixar movies, the writing elevates that because they can't rely off of good performances. It all is story based. It all has to be just completely tight as a script. So in some ways, I like it. Oh, it being technology, I'm jinxing it. Yeah, man, I hate it. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get off of here. I appreciate you for stopping by, for doing this little Q&A session with just you and me. It's just you and me, guys. You know what I mean? Just you and me. Yes, the original Beauty and the Beast. The animation is beautiful. All the written pieces are just amazing. But when I see it live for merit, it doesn't work. I haven't watched a single of the live-action Disney things. I am super not interested in any of those. But yeah, no, I get your point, and I think you get my point. Maybe give it a chance sometime. But if you don't like it, don't feel forced to like it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got to. I feel like I just missed my window to watch it. Had I started watching it when it aired originally, maybe it could have sticked. Yeah, maybe. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the love. Yep, thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the love and the support. I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to try to rest up tonight. Rest up tomorrow, hopefully get a cool Star Wars video out on Sunday, and then do the Grey Council, and then we'll be back at it next week, okay? You guys are amazing, as I always say. I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ta.